Anyway, let's say that you're amazing at what you do and you deflect this swing and only 1% of the force is imparted into you. What happens then? I'll tell you what happens. Every bone, every single one in your arm shatters to pieces. Your arm, it gets ripped from its socket. Just no arm now. It's over there.
Yeah, he was drinking. Wait. Show him.
Some of this Minute. This is so good.
Yeah, I already know.
What it do?
We're not available now. Please leave your name and phone number
I'm just playing, bro. That's what we used to do. Like, remember this? What it do? And then we just... Remember we used to do that?
Yeah, we just used to just sit there and not do nothing.
I know. I just wanted to do it for old time's sake. Hold on. Wait. Let me do it. Hey, you know this is white, right?
Yeah.
This is white. It needs to be black.
I have a black one up there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right, let me just put it down. Yeah, you stay right there, okay? Okay. Kitty Crew! Yes, sir. We back with another video.
Yes, sir. We are going to be reacting to the Game Theorist. So if you guys are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed...
Wait, no. Don't say that yet. Tell him we on the road.
Oh, well, yeah. I was going to get to that. But we on the road to 900 subscribers. As of right now, we are 7 subscribers away from 900.
7 subscribers away from 900? Are you kidding me, bro?
Yes, sir.
Are you kidding me? Y'all subscribe.
But if you guys haven't already, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel.
Because we stay lit on our channel and we come out with straight bangers. Sir.
But yeah, without further ado, we're going to be reacting to the Game Theorist, the Elden Ring strongest weapon.
Strongest weapon, bro. When people started... Wait, who played that first?
I don't remember. I think Corey did, I thought.
Yeah,
well, at least what we reacted to.
Yeah.
I don't know who the first person was to play it, but...
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into the video.
Yes, sir. Let's see. Wait a minute. It's this guy.
Hi, hello, greetings, mortals and immortals alike, and welcome to my Elden Ring video.
Guys.
All of the B-roll in this video, aside from the stuff illustrating specific points we need to make, is gonna come from Tanya, my editor, who has never played a Souldborne game before, ever! So, enjoy watching her fumble through this and be nice. There's, spoilers, I guess, for at least one boss fight in the game, so, I don't know.
We never played
Why did you click this video if you don't want spoilers? Like,
just go ahead and
why do I
spoil it.
have to be your parent here? I beat Radon pre-nerf. Did I make this entire video just a humble brag? Well, actually, no, that's just regular bragging, I think. And anyway, I got through the Radon fight because of one reason, and one reason only. And that's because I abused the single biggest, cheesiest, easy modiest strategy in the entire game. I used a shield.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alright, I guess the summonable NPCs helped a little. Look, I'm not a Giga Chad, okay? I'm a Mega Chad at most. Realistically, probably I'm just a Killa Chad. In any case, yeah, I'm playing just a little knight person with their little knight sword and their little knight shield, doing little knight stabby stabs, poking at demigods with my steel toothpick until they eventually give up out of embarrassment. I am a creature of habit, but the real star of the show is absolutely 100% that shield. A shield they give you at the very beginning of the game. What is so magnificent about this shield? It will stop almost any physical attack completely, even if it's enough to completely deplete your stamina. As long as it is not magical and you get that shield up, boom! It's like nothing happened. And yeah, this is how shields have worked in all sorts of Soulsy games, but I mean, I'm playing Elden Ring right now, so really, though, it's Radon that highlighted how absolutely absurd this feature of shields is. I'm sure there's like someone more terrifying than him with bigger swords that are swung faster, but I, at present, have gotten massively distracted by running from place to place and doing random dungeons here and there. I may actually never finish this game. But just look at this dude. Look at him. Just flailing these Hino M series things around like they're nothing, and then he does this. What on earth is going on here? This is just insane. So, all right, fine. we're gonna do this. How exactly
technically
much
you're going against
force is
demigod.
the
Yeah,
Elden
right,
Ring
right.
shield capable of stopping?
Okay, so it's strongest
Presuming that
weapon.
Radahn is the hardest hitter, which
you're
I'm
talking
not
about he's
convinced is
their
actually
strongest
true, but
weapon.
we gotta pick an example, so let's pick this guy. And hey, just for fun, I wanted to know if you can reach Radahn without beating a single other boss, and it turns out that you
Oh, yeah, for
totally
the
can.
thumbnail,
So I
I
actually
have
did
an
all
idea
my
for that.
testing on a character that hasn't been
we're
leveled
gonna
up
start
at
taking
all.
pictures
And
of,
guess
like,
what?
different-
Yep! Little babyface here is 100%
Oh,
capable of blocking every single shot from Radahn before dying horribly. Listen, I'm not great at this game. So, right away, we gotta figure
don't
out a
look
few
great
things.
at the
One, the
game.
size of Radahn's swords. If we can do that, we can
playing,
make a
bro, you
pretty
should.
educated guess at how much kinetic
should do
energy
bounty
it's
too.
carrying. Two, what this thing is made out of and how fast he's swinging it. One of these is easier than the other. Well, kinda, and
Radahn's
that's figuring
sword.
out how large Radahn's swords are, which means, you guessed it, folks, it's time for some pixel measurements.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, this is where I immediately ran into trouble, because I think I've taught you guys how pixel measurements work by now, right? You find something in the game that exists in the real world to compare against, or in some games, you actually get distance markers now that tell you precisely, in the game's terms, how far you are from something. Now, I almost always find something consistent to measure with, even if it requires me buying the New York City Transit Authority Graphics Standards Manual, which I have sitting on my shelf still, taking up space for no reason whatsoever. But Elden Ring doesn't take place on Earth. Most of the plants and animals aren't even plants and animals we have in real life, and the ones we do have are humongous monsters. No thank you! So I had to go with my backup plan, which is a massive bummer, and it is an approximation, but I think it'll work fine for us for our purposes here today. And that is taking the average human height and using that for an approximation using our character. It's not ideal, and you know what? If you have a better solution, leave it in the comments below, because I might need it for a future video. Alright, so average height for humans, by my estimation, is 1.72
Depending what it
meters.
is.
This is a great starting point. Now, we just have to measure, excuse me, sir! I'm trying to, stop it! I'm trying to measure yourself. This is ridiculous! You stop this nonsense right now! By the power of Cheat Engine, I command thee, stop! Alright, this was a bit tricky though, because the guy doesn't draw his swords until he's in combat, but I got several good reference points using how high up I go on this guy's knee to get a pixel per meter ratio of 0.0189 meters per pixel. Nice. Now, approaching the sword. This is a bit tricky. I used this screenshot where I got things the clearest, but the thing is, his swords are curved, not straight geometric shapes, and I promise, I did try to do some calculus to measure the area under the curve here so I could measure the area under this curve here, but that was just like, it was too much work for basically no reward. So instead, I broke this picture into 10 different sections, 4 rectangles and 6 triangles, and used basic geometry to get all their dimensions. I actually need the area of the sword, the surface area, so I can multiply that by the thickness of the sword to get the volume.
Dang,
That is our
Dang,
end
it's really
goal,
like
and I'll
you
tell
really
you why
can't
later.
talk
So,
when
since
it's like
all
a
the
theory.
triangles are right triangles,
Yeah,
I
you
can
don't
use
have to
A
listen
times
to it.
B divided by
That's why
2
we're
to
not
get their
talking, guys. I
areas,
mean, we've
and
been
for
told you that.
rectangles, it's
Every
literally
time it's
just
a-
base
every time
times
it's a theory,
height.
you
Adding
just-
all those
you have to
together,
listen,
I get
yeah.
a surface area of 15.1 square meters. Oh boy, we are in for a fun time here. I double checked my math, and it seems right based on our human estimates. Yeah, it is, but boy, this is weird. Thankfully, some estimates we're gonna do later should offshoot any of these inaccuracies. Anywho, his sword is thick too, clocking in at, seriously, about 10 centimeters wide. These things are no freaking joke. Knowing this, we can now figure out how heavy this thing is. It's likely made out of steel or some kind of iron, and to make up for some of our possible overestimates, let's lean a little bit on Fermi estimation here, which uses the idea of your overestimates and your underestimates, if they're educated enough, averaging out to get you pretty darn close to the solution you're working for. The density of iron is about 7,500 kilograms per cubic meter. Let's drop that down to 7,000 to make things slightly feasible. A 10 centimeter thick curved shape with a surface area of 15.1 square meters has a volume of 1.51 cubic meters, meaning one of these swords at 7,000 kilos per cubic meter would weigh 10.57 thousand kilograms. And in the standardized unit of mass that you're used to hearing things in, that's a mass of over 14 1992 Geo Metros. But hey, even if it's heavy, if it's moving really slowly, it's not gonna make that much of a difference. So, how fast does this guy... Jesus! Why, man? Why? So this one I really could not have
Just like
done
getting
without
hit
Cheat
by
Engine. So
14
shout out
cars.
to fearless Cheat Engine user Gideon25 for all the marvelous work he did on this thing. It made my job actually doable. Looking overhead, I found the best swing to measure was this one that's in a perfect arc, and we're gonna do this using angle measurements, which if you want to know how I do these, I literally just find a picture of a protractor, plop it into Premiere, turn the opacity down, and measure the angles. Thankfully, this swing is mathematical perfection and basically makes a complete 180-degree turn in 300 milliseconds. That's 10.47 radians per second of angular velocity, literally just the speed at which an angle changes. Angular velocity is literally how fast something spins, and we need to turn this into vertical velocity. Vertical velocity is the speed of... How do I explain this? Okay, so let's say you have a tire on a car, right? And it's rotating. The entire thing is rotating at the same angular velocity. If it's 3.14 radians per second, that means that every 2 seconds, it's gonna make a single rotation. That is the angular velocity. Vertical velocity, or rather probably tangential velocity, is the speed at which any given part of it is moving in tangent to the rotation. That is to say, if the wheel is rotating this way on this point, the tangent is going to go that way, the direction the car is moving. This is the speed that we need to know, and it changes on any moving object based on the radius it is away from the center of rotation. In other words, the further away something is from the center of rotation, the faster it's moving. So this 10.47 radians per second sword might not hardly tickle if you're right near where it's rotating, but the outside edge, if that hits you, you are toast. Probably. We haven't technically done the math yet. Since we can realistically block this part of the sword, we're going to need to know how fast it's actually going at the furthest end. Using an array of pixel measurements, once again, I determined that the radius, which is the measure from the tip of the sword to the center of Radon, is 335 pixels in this footage. Readjusting for the zoom out using the length of the sword, it gets us a meter per pixel of 0.036897, making our radius 12.36 meters. Using the formula 2 pi r to determine the circumference of the circular path Radon's sword is taking, we get a total distance around of 77.665 meters, but he only travels half of that in one swing, which is 38.8 meters. Whew! Did it. Now, knowing that he traverses this distance with his sword in 0.3 seconds, we can finally figure out on that outside edge, the tangential vertical velocity is a whopping 129 meters per second. At over 10 metric tons, this means easily, handily, one swing of this sword would be capable of launching an entire fennec fox into space, or a pineapple if you're vegan. Earlier, I measured how long it takes for a shield to absorb the hit, including the time it takes for the character to fall back and slow down to a full stop. And I got 683 milliseconds, which means if the shield absorbs the full force of this blow, of this monstrosity, it would be imposing 2 million, that's million with an M, newtons of force into the shield. But let's be charitable here, a shield could be deflecting, and sometimes you're not taking the full force of the swing from this sword. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that because you're a HEPA master, that you, what's that? What do you mean it's not HEPA? What do I think it stands for? Historical European Peacekeeping Arts. What? It's HEMA? Historical European Martial Arts? Then what the heck does my HEPA filter do? What do you mean that's not relevant to what?
De Montmartre à Montparnasse, les garçons suivent mes pas.
Anyway, let's say that you're amazing at what you do and you deflect this swing and only 1% of the force is imparted into you. What happens then? I'll tell you what happens. Every bone, every single one in your arm shatters to pieces. Your arm, it gets ripped from its socket. Just no arm now, it's over there. 20,000 newtons of force is enough force to completely pull an arm off under the right conditions, and it's more than enough to shatter several femurs, the strongest bone you have have in your body. This would be like trying to stop an oncoming car with a shield. Do not do it. But it gets worse, baby. Oh, yes, it does. Because Radahn, remember, pulls this move in phase 1.5. Coats his sword in what? I don't know, like conservatively 10 centimeters of rock on average over the face of the entire thing. And that's a conservative estimate. This adds another 3 cubic meters of volume of this stuff, of solid rock to the sword. At 2,550 kilos per cubic meter of density, on the low end for rock densities, mind you, this would add almost an entire full Geo Metro on top of the 14 we already have. Meaning if you were really good at deflecting this massive weapon and you were able to deflect 99.5% of the incoming force, you would still be hit by a whopping 17.3 thousand newtons. Goodbye to your bones. It was nice while they lasted. So yeah, realistically, you get 1 block before you're carted off to the hospital, where hopefully maybe you would survive grievous injuries like having your arm turned into gravel. And that's in 2022, not some medieval times here. So, praise the sun, you don't have the right. Oh, you don't have the right. Therefore, you don't have the right. Oh, you don't have the right. And give credit where credit is due to the world's most overpowered shield that harbors within it dark, eldritch powers that allow it to take unlimited beatings from giants who learned how to control gravity magic just so they could ride their goofy horses. Your bones are only bones because of that shield, and it gets so little credit. This mythical object that they give you right at the beginning of the game. The real hero of Elden Ring,
Literally.
the humble shield.
I didn't even think about it
Sincerely,
that way.
Austin. I need to throw out a personal thank you to my Patreons, who are my
If you guys enjoyed that video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That sounds like, oh, dang, a shield was able to block that. That is pretty overpowered though.
Yeah, that's an overpowered.
I thought
shit.
about that for games, like, you know, the shield. If you have like a big giant monster that's just slamming stuff on you, and you're able to just block damage, that, I mean, obviously, again, it's a game, but if that was real life, that would not happen.
That would never happen. I don't know.
But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Ciao.